Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Let's jump right into Ready to Love. This is the episode after we got rid of Raymond and I already forgot his name, David. Okay, so the men meet up with Tommy in his little lounge where they get to discuss how they feel about the ladies and lets them know that two women are going home at the end of this week. Now, the end of this week is not the end of this episode. I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to see which two ladies got to go home, but I feel like it's going to be some drama that needs to erupt next week, and then we'll see the two ladies that go home, but we'll discuss that later. Tommy tells the men, you all need to pay more attention to your connections if you have a connection with this lady, and not just pay attention if you are attracted to this lady. I got all kind of questions that we're going to discuss in the comments throughout this episode, because I felt like a lot of people were paying more attention to their attractions and not their connections. I saw a few connections. I don't understand. Let's just throw this out here real quick. I like Joy. I think Joy reminds me so much of Alexis last season. Is it just something about that look? I don't know. But everyone is like, oh, everyone likes Joy. All the men likes Joy. And we'll just pick up her scraps. And I'm like, really? Like, what is it? I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird to me that every woman is like, oh, well, that person likes Joy, but I'm going to talk to him anyway, just in case, she get to pick whatever man she want. And I'm like, if she really could get any man that she wanted, why is she on this dating show? Anyway, let's jump into the episode. So now Tommy released the men. They're all having this little mixer with drinks and everything. And the first people we see is Naya and KG. I really like Naya and KG. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. I feel like Naya, and I don't know the girl Naya, but I feel like she just wants a man. That sounds bad, Angie, but I just don't feel like their vibe is authentic, because I don't think she's being her true self. Like, maybe she is. Maybe the Naya that we met in the casting video, maybe she was fronting there and this is the true Naya. But the Naya that I saw on the casting video, I don't think is one of those, I'm one with the earth, I'm one with the water, let's lay in the dirt and feel the earth power type of woman. I don't think that's her. I think she's fronting a little bit for KG because she thinks KG is sexy. I think 90% of these people are on the show just to be on the show, and they want to connect with someone just so they can stay on the show as long as possible. They do have, with the front and the side, Naya and KG do look cute together. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when how long it lasts. I know KG came up to Naya and was like, could you tell last week that I wanted to kiss you? And then Naya just went like, and just kissed him real quick in the lips. It was cute. It looked very awkward. And then she kissed him real quick in the lips again. And I was just like, I don't see it. I don't see the chemistry. Like, through my TV, all I see is a woman who wants to be on TV, and her and KG connected first, so she rolling with it. Naya, I would say date around. You never know who else you might could be your true self with, or just whoever you might have another connection with. I don't trust those day one connections. You saw how that worked out last season. Anyway, let's move on. Next, we see Jay and Simone. They showed a flashback of how Simone came up to Jay and was like, you have a phone call or something to get Jay away from Winter. And then as soon as they walked far enough for Winter, she was like, I was lying. I just wanted to be with you. And he was like, I thought that was a boss move. I don't know. I mean, it's something about Simone that I don't think love is on the island for her. I think she better get as much screen time as she can, because I just don't know. The question I had is, because she was one of the ones she's friends with Joy, but she feels like she has this connection with Jay, and she wanted to know, is it okay to flirt and show interest with Jay, and she's friends with Joy? Like, should she just let them have their connection? And I'm like, girl, I said this to somebody else. I'm like, you want a man or you don't? Like, this is a dating show. You don't know Joy. Like, were you and Joy friends before you all came on the show? If the answer is no, you owe her no loyalty. Like, you've all known each other for a week. You better date and find out if you have a connection. Don't just give up because you see he vibed with her first. I don't know. Yeah, I just said my answer is the dating show. Like, everybody needs to be moving around. It's not time to clink clink with anybody yet. It's 1 week. That's it. Anyway, I feel like everyone needs to shoot their shot. Just all you ladies, if you're interested, shoot your shot. Men, if you're interested, shoot your shot. It's a dating show and it's a TV show. It'll be more entertaining if we see you all connect with different people. Now, we're in the mixer. Denise and Calfani are playing pool, having a good time. I like Denise and Calfani, but I already told you a couple of weeks ago, Denise, Calfani is the finest man on the resort. All the ladies like Calfani. You cannot be jealous. It's a dating show. If you can't handle this dating show, you never gonna handle real life. Because you can't have a man that looks that good and not expect other women to look at him. You have to have some kind of confidence, girl. But anyway, I feel like Adriana was wrong in this instance. Now, yes, Simone just did the same thing to Winner, and what's his name? Jay called it a boss move. I didn't think that was right when Simone did it either. It was cute, but the way Adriana did it was less cute because at least Simone kind of fronted like, oh, you got a phone call, come with me. Now, Winner, you was dumb. She ain't production. If Jay really had a phone call, production would have got him, not Simone. But anyway, let's get back to this. So Adriana just straight up walks up to Calfani in the middle of a pool game where he's shooting for the 8 ball. So, they trying to see who wins this pool game. And she was like, I need to talk to you. It's my turn. Come on. And she pulls him off to a private room with a private sofa. Did she straddle him? No, but her leg was way over across his lap. She might as well have been straddling him. It did look floozy-ish. Like, Denise did call her floozy later on in the episode, and we gonna get to that. But it did look, I did think it was a little bit too much too. Like, you can have a conversation with a man without having to straddle him and throw your leg all across his body. All you said was, I told all the ladies in the room, I claimed you, so I need to know if you like me since I'm openly claiming you as one of my top men. And I'm like, but you didn't tell Calfani that you also said Rashid was your man. So make up your mind. Is Rashid your man or Calfani your top? You can't have all the men. You can't have all the men. You can't go around saying Rashid is my man, making this statement like, don't none of y'all other bitches talk to Rashid, that's my man. But then also feel like you could turn around and have Calfani too. You can't have all the men. You can't. So Denise in the confessional says that Adriana looks like a floozy because you just said what I just said, that Rashid was your man, but now you all over here straddling Calfani. That does look bad. And I said Rashid, because they were off in a private section, I said Rashid could not have seen this. Because if it was me, I wouldn't want the person that I'm vibing with straddling another man. Now, it wasn't a full straddle, but it was close enough. Because it just looked like that's something you see when you really in the process of the show where this is my connected person. We really trying to get deeper here. So we got our body parts all over each other. Not in the, I just want to know if you like me part of the show. Like, it was too much. Adriana, you was doing too much. And I have a question here. Do you all think Adriana was doing too much to get under Denise's skin? Because, you know, Denise was throwing little jabs here and there at Adriana. It's something between Denise and Adriana I want to see more of. I want to know where the hate comes from because there are little jabs thrown out there. And when we get to that part of the episode, I'm going to tell you what I think that it is. Alicia. Alicia shoots her shot at Brian. Brian is, I forgot what he does. He's the one who said he's an educational consultant. And I was like, what the hell is that? Just a teacher? Like, just say teacher. But anyway, she shoots her shot at Brian. You know, Alicia says she like tall, dark, with a beard. And I'm like, Brian wasn't but maybe 2 inches taller than you, girl. But she shot her shot with Brian. And I just said, Alicia, you're not good at reading the room. You're not good at filling out vibes and energy or even using your listening ears, because Brian just the other week said he's taking this opportunity seriously. He deleted all little hussies out of his phone. All the straggling women, he hit delete. He came to this place. He said he came celibate. He said he won 2 years celibate like Alex, or yeah, her name's Alex. But he's 40 days celibate. He doesn't want to have any sex. He doesn't want sex to be a part of this process and him connecting with a woman. He wants to be celibate as well. Alicia, you ooze sex. Everything about you says sex. And that might not be all the way your fault. Some people are just sexy people who you can't help the way your body looks. Now, you did say you got the mommy snatch, so you could, but it ain't nothing wrong with that, child. Everybody wants a mommy snatch. But you could just be one of them people that talk, you know, and bat your eyes. And she has that real slow, sultry, just bedroom voice. But it just seemed like you want to fuck Brian. And I feel like you feel like your sensualness and your sexiness is just going to get him when he already said he's not having any sex. So you throwing it at him is not helping because he's not trying to catch it. He don't want to catch it. And so I feel like you're not reading his energy. And I feel like that's why your feelings got hurt at the end of the episode. And we're going to talk about that later. But learn to pick up on the energy and the vibe of the person you trying to shoot your shot with. I feel like, Alicia, you can get a man on this show. You have all the abilities to get any man you want on this show. Just not Brian. He was the wrong pick for you because he not trying to catch what you throwing. You could throw that at anybody else and they would have caught it. But anyway, moving on. The men are working out. Joy and Alexis are watching the men work out and have a conversation. Now, this is my question. Did we just hear Denise say, after she done just got mad at somebody for talking to Calfani, that before she locks it in with Calfani, she needs to go on 2 more dates to make sure she don't have a connection that she missing out on, which is what you're supposed to do, Denise. That's what you're supposed to do. But you was just tripping when Calfani went on a little date. But back to the point. She said she want to go on a date with Anthony, and she wants to go on a date with Rashid. Now, we just heard what she said about Rashid last week. We're going to get to that in a minute as well. But Rashid, of all the men on the resort, he the one you need to go on a date with to make sure you're not missing out on a connection. I feel like that's toxic. We're going to get to that real quick. It's something very toxic about that. It's either toxic or very petty. You either a toxic person or a petty person. We're going to find out. Hold on. So now we at the pool. We having a good pool date. The ladies are finally doing what I want them to do, which is jump in the pool, have fun, get your hair wet. Who cares? Dry it off and curl it back up. So at least Simone, Adriana, and Denise jumped in the pool, got their hair wet, played volleyball with the men. Great. They break off after the volleyball game. Denise and Calfani go have a conversation. We'll talk about their conversation later. Adriana is sitting with Simone, the guy chef, I can't remember his name, and Rashid. I like Adriana and Rashid. I don't know why she's playing around with Calfani. I can see the connection her and Rashid have. Anyway, do you all think Adriana was wrong for telling Rashid about what the ladies, really what Denise said about him in the round table with Tommy? Now, I don't think it was wrong. It's a reality show. It was going to come out eventually. Maybe it was a good talking point to have it in a small group setting, but she could have told him that privately as well. But anyway, she told, and maybe it was good to have it in a group. That way, if she said anything wrong, Simone was there to correct her. Okay, let's move on. She told Rashid, you know, Denise said she didn't like you. You was a narcissist. And she said you had a narcissist vibe. And she told Tommy you had a narcissist vibe because you were tall, light-skinned, and in a fraternity. Now, Tommy did check her. Tommy did check Denise. We went over that last week. And, you know, Rashid got in his feelings. He was like, it's not right, you know, for her to judge me. And she don't know me. She don't know me. And he was like, a lot of women have judged me. Now, you know, he a Kappa. All the fraternities have a stereotype. They all do. And you can't go to any fraternity and say all the Kappas are like this, all the Omegas are like that. So move on beside that conversation. But he has said people have judged me before because I'm light-skinned. And I just really appreciate hearing the point of view from a man, because usually you hear the point of view of light-skinned and dark-skinned women and the colorism in the community and the things they go through as a woman in colorism. So it was good to hear a man have that conversation. And all of them just ultimately say this is something we have to talk about, teach our children. It's either way, man or woman, light or dark, it's not right to have these stereotypes and judge people for them and you don't know them. Now let's fast forward so we don't have to talk about this again later. Eventually, Adriana confronts or has a conversation with Denise about the statement of him being a narcissist because he's tall, light-skinned, and a Kappa. And ultimately from that conversation, Denise finally broke down. And what I understand is that the person who abused her kept her captive for 4 days and she almost died, which is horrible, a horrific situation that I'm happy she was strong enough to get out of. I'm happy she was strong enough to get out of that abusive relationship. But from what I understand of her sharing this is that Rashid must remind her of her old man. Rashid, her old man who was abusive, had to have been tall, light-skinned, and a Kappa. Had to have been. And because she said her ex was a narcissist. And she sees those red flags in Rashid. Let me break down a little bit of Angie's opinion. I feel like, because also within this confrontation, Adriana and Denise discussed a conversation of how they view each other. Like, it's some friction there. And Adriana was like, I need some respect. You don't have to keep cutting me off. And Denise said the number one thing about reality TV competition shows, girl, I'm here to find a man. I ain't here to be your friend. How much respect do you need? Now, I can also see the personality differences because Adriana seems to be a non-confrontational person. Like, she will have a discussion with you, but Denise seems to be on ready. Like, whatever you got to say, I won't say she's aggressive. She's very defensive. Whatever you have to say, she got something to say back to you. She's a straight shooter, and she's not going to put no sugar on what she got to say. Whatever she has to say, she just going to say it. Like, bitch, how much respect do you want? I don't know you. I'm respecting you. I'm not calling you out your name. You did call her a floozy, though, in a confessional. But they're just two different personalities. Now, with all of this new information, my diagnosis would be that Rashid probably reminds her very much of that ex-boyfriend. And maybe her friction with Adriana is that Adriana is the one with Rashid. And maybe she just is not feeling Adriana because Adriana is the one with him. I don't know. Now, if where I say toxic or what I say, Denise is either toxic or petty. Denise is either toxic because why would you, if you see all these red flags of your ex in Rashid, why is Rashid one of the men you need to go on a date with to make sure you aren't missing out on a connection? Like, to me, if I see anybody giving me red flags of a horrific relationship that I had to struggle to get out of, I ain't trying to go over there and see if these red flags are the connection I need. Like, girl, break the pattern, break the cycle. You just got out of that. Now, I'm by no means saying that Rashid is a abusive person or a narcissist, any of that. I'm just saying, if in your eyes as Denise, if you think he's that, why do you want to date him? So I say either toxic or petty, because you're either being petty and want to go on a date with Rashid to piss off Adriana because Adriana was talking to your so-called man, Calfani. So, toxic or petty? I don't know. I'm going to lean on the side of petty because she seemed way too strong and way too aware of herself to want to go back down that rabbit hole of being toxic. Okay, let's move on from them. Get in the comments and let me know what you all think about that whole situation, because that whole situation is a lot of mess. Moving on. Let's get off of them. Jay and Winter. Jay and Joy is gonna be crazy. That's gonna drive me crazy. But it seems like they're gonna be the ones to link up. But Jay and Winter have a little date. And Winter is like, I had a dream that we jumped in the pool together with our clothes on. And I was like, okay, what does that dream mean? A mess. And she noticed also throughout the conversation that he had a stitch above his eye, and he like really explained what it was and was like, you really are looking at me, like you really into me to be noticing that, because most women don't notice that. Now, Winter is one of the ones who was like, I like our vibe. I like how me and Jay vibe. I like our conversations. I feel like we have a connection, but I know he has a connection with Joy. So should I step back and be respectful of that? And I'm going to tell you, just like I told Simone, girl, you want a man or not? You here for love or not? Like, what is it? What is it? Because do you know Joy? And why are y'all women so respectful of Joy? Like, have respect for each other as women, yes. But this is a dating show. And if you want the man, you're not going to get the man by constantly taking a back seat and hoping he don't pick her. No, you need to go out there and figure out the connection you have with Jay. Because if y'all have a vibe, eventually your vibe could be stronger. And he may want to vibe with you, but you'll never know if you're taking yourself out the equation. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for, like, what was it last season? Like, when they finally were towards the end and you really saw who was coupling up with who, I can understand the respect there, but I ain't here for it on week 1, week 2. Let's move on. Denise at the pool tells Calfani she feels some kind of way about him entertaining women laughing all up in his face. And I said, Denise, you getting ready to lose your man. Denise, you getting ready to lose your man. I said, girl, where's your confidence? Where is your security? It's a dating show. You just want to go on a date. You just said you want to go on a date with Anthony and Rashid, but he can't say hello to Adriana. Now, the straddle was a bit much. Calfani, you could have took her leg and put it politely to the side. But anyway, we ain't gonna go back over there. Denise, you gonna lose your man because he the finest one there. And what I don't understand, let's go on over to this situation. Let me jump through this real quick. Brian and Alex had a paddleboard date. It was very romantic. I like Brian and Alex. There's someone whose connection I really like and I really hope can make it to the end of the show and outside of the show can continue to date. I like them together. The chef, the man chef, and Joy went on a little thing, and the chef was talking about Joy is a Maserati. She needs no marketing. I guess he was saying she's so beautiful. She ain't really got to work to get a date. And I'm like, she obviously does because she on the same show as every other woman on this show. So don't make it seem like she all that. Because she was all that, she would have had her another husband and be chilling in, where y'all from? Dallas, Houston, Texas, wherever. But she on the same show as every other woman on here. So obviously she need a little bit of marketing too. But moving on from that. But they did have a great conversation. And Joy was like, why does every man want to pick me up? I guess because she looks like the lightest one out there. You know, some of the other girls, they thick. Ain't nothing wrong with being thick. But she does look like the lightest one that they could easily pick up and throw around. I don't know. Moving on. Now, what pissed me off. This is what pissed me off. Everyone is in the pool having a good time. And a group of people asked the chef. Gosh, I can't remember his name. What is the man chef name? I can't remember neither one of the chef's name. I promise you, they probably the next ones to go. The girl chef and the man chef. But anyway, I think Rashid asked him, you know, you used to be a sheriff. Something about how he feels about Black Lives Matter and the police, you know, killing black men in the street and all that. Like, it was a conversation about how he feels from that aspect of being a sheriff in the past. And he was having a good conversation. I ain't gonna go down everything he said. Me being in my 40s, like everyone else there is in their 40s, I appreciate an intellectual conversation. Everything ain't gotta be what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food, what you do for a living, you got a passport, all that bullshit. I appreciate, especially if I'm dating someone, can you talk to me and hold a conversation about something that is not superficial, something that has to do with the real world. You know, I do these YouTube videos for fun on superficial things like reality shows and competition shows, but I do like to have serious conversations and debates, and not everyone's going to have the same opinion. But what pissed me off about that, I don't care how long that chef was talking. I don't care if he was out there talking for 2 hours straight. Now, 2 hours, that is a lot, but I'm a talker, so I get it. But it just seems so rude that the female chef is rolling her eyes like, we ain't here to talk about this. You boring me. I want to go over here, girl, because she went up to Denise, girl. They was over there talking about some bullshit. You know, I'm over here to have fun. I'm over here to find love. I ain't here to be listening to him talk. And I'm like, that's why you ain't got no man. That's why you ain't got no man, because you can't hold a intelligent conversation. Everything you want to talk about is surface level. And then here comes Calfani, as fine as he is. Yes. Oh, there go Cal. Oh, hear what I'm talking about, Calfani. Look at him and his 9-pack. Yeah. Oh, Calfani. Go Calfani. Yeah. Take it off, Calfani. And I'm like, number one, you sound like an idiot. You sound drunk and like an idiot. And number two, Denise, we're the same energy. Like, this bitch catcalling your man and you sitting right next to you. And you seem unbothered. That's the same kind of energy you need to have with Adriana. With any woman that's that's how you gonna keep Calfani. I know my man fine. Go ahead and call him, girl. Go ahead and look at the 9-pack, girl. I got a 9-pack too, because Denise's body is ripped. She has a good body. I'm like, that's how it would be. That's how you gonna keep your man. You can't be fazed by what these other bitches looking at. Denise. But moving on from that had really pissed me off. And I thought that was a really bad look The chef. You know what chef I'm talking about. So now also at the pool, this video getting long, but it was some good stuff that happened. Now also at the pool, now Winter in her feelings because she feel like she was vibing with Jay and Winter, you look good. I like that mesh swimsuit. That was cute. She feel like me and Jay have a good time until Joy come around. That should tell you something, Winter, because Winter was like, I know my place and. On a dating competition show, if you vibing with somebody and then as soon as a certain person comes, they're like, "Ooh, gotta go." That means that's the one they vibing with the most. Now, I ain't saying to stop your vibe. Do what you gotta do. Get your man. Which it seemed like that's what Winter did. But it is disrespectful. Like, if you on this show and you vibing with Winter, you will see Joy later. Hell, y'all on the resort, quarantine for COVID. She ain't going nowhere until it's time for her to go home. So you would have saw her again. But let's move on from that. So Winter went up to them to have a conversation. She's like, I need to talk to you. Probably talk about her feelings and how she felt about what he did when Joy came around. So they had to go back to her room, the hotel room. Now, y'all couldn't have no private conversation on the other side of that pool? Or y'all couldn't go on over to a bench somewhere and have a private conversation? And it just seemed, it gave me the, okay. It gave me that because all the time y'all walking up to the room, to the cameraman, yeah, we just gonna have a private conversation, just a few minutes. We just gonna only talk. All we gonna do is come in here is talk. I'm like, why y'all announcing it? Like, if you wouldn't have announced it like that, I would have just assumed that's all y'all went in there to do was talk. But because you had to keep announcing it and made such a big deal, I was like, oh, what's really going on? Now, Winter, I ain't mad at you. You go in a private room and you see a man you want, you put it on him a little bit. Because let me show you what I'm working with. So you can figure out who you want. You know, I ain't mad at you, Winter. If that's what you did. But don't front. Don't front. Now, they said ain't nothing happened. So, ain't nothing happened. Now, Messy ass Simone see them. And she can't wait till she see Jay with Joy. So she can go to, hey, I saw you in the bedroom with Winter. And y'all ain't had no shirt on. Now I'm like, bitch, they just came from the pool. You saw him with his pool shorts on. What man you know wear a shirt with their pool shorts? And you saw her in a bikini. I see Simone, this is why you gonna go home next week. One, you ain't got no other connection. And the one person you did have a connection on, you snitching. You snitching. Don't nobody want no messy, snitching ass woman. See, what you should have done is kept your mouth shut and had that conversation with Jay in private. Or what you should have done is kept your mouth shut, and when your opportunity came around, you put a little something on Jay. Because now you know, if I want Jay, I gotta outwork Winter and Joy. See, you played your cards wrong, Simone. But let's move on. Alicia and Brian have some awkward ass date. Like, it's absolutely no chemistry there. I don't care how nice. Brian is a nice guy, and it's hard for me to say. Shut up, Angie. Shut up, Angie. Anyway, that Brian is a nice guy, and Alicia, it was so easy to see through the TV screen that he was just being kind to you. He was giving you a date on the TV screens. Hopefully he'll be nice enough and vote for you to stay so you can try to put your goodness on somebody else. But I just said, wrong man, girl. Wrong man. Now, Brian walks Alicia back to her room and being a gentleman and she was like, well, you come back and watch movies. We can watch whatever you want. And he was like, oh, okay. Because she was like, I got the snacks. I got everything in here. We can have a good time tonight. You ain't got to go. And he was like, let me go to my room for 10 minutes real quick. Probably whatever he was going to do. We saw what he did. But he was like, let me go to my room real quick and I'll be right back. So he left her room and went directly to Alex's room to give her a goodnight kiss. And I was like, that's so sweet. And he was honest. He was like, look, I know I have to date around. I know I have to make sure I'm not missing out on any other connections. But he was like, if my vibe is here, my vibe is here. And I just was like, if you see what you want and it clicks, go for it. Like, to me, I feel like they're on that same energy level. I'm gonna take it back from Naya and KG. Like, hey, y'all click, go for it. Like right now, let's talk about no, but what was messy? Let's talk about the messy bitch number two. Messy bitch number two is that female chef who saw, Brian giving Alex a good night kiss and just having a good night conversation with Alex. And so she was like, oh, I thought Brian was on a date with Alicia. Let me go get Alicia. Tip, 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 creep down the hall, get Alicia. Bring Alicia to this hiding spot right next to the room. Y'all can see, my ass is big too, so I can say it. Y'all can see Alicia big ass tiptoeing in front of that room around the corner. Okay. But anyway, Alicia over there listening, and Alicia here, Brian telling Alex all these sweet nothings, giving her kisses on the mouth. And so now Alicia all in her feelings like, well, bitch, if you ain't want to come in the room and watch a movie, that's all you have to say. Now, number one, Brian, she was right with that. She was right. If you wanted to end the night there, you should have just said, no, I don't want to watch a movie. I'm about to go to sleep. I had a good time. Peace. Respect. But don't tell a woman you about to go freshen up in your room and you'll be right back in 10 minutes just to go to another woman's room and kiss her all in the mouth. Now, I thought it was sweet and I thought it was cute and I like you and Alex together. But just make it official, Lou. Just make it official. Anyway, female chef, you messy. And I was looking forward to the end of this episode because I was looking forward to you going home. But like I said, next week, it's going to be some drama. I think we got to get through watching the aftermath of Alicia going off on Brian for what he did with Alex. And Alicia, you just going to get your feelings hurt, girl, because he want to be with Alex, not you. Go ahead and move around. Go ahead and move around real quick, girl. You can find you a man. I'm telling you, because I like you, Alicia, girl. Anyway, who do we think will be the two women that go home next week? Now, if it was up to Angie, I'm voting the two messy bitches out. Y'all want to snitch? Y'all got to go. Simone and the female chef will go. Number one, for sure, that female chef will go. She doesn't have a connection with anybody. I haven't even seen her go out on a group date. So, she going to be gone. I think it's going to be between Alicia and Simone. Simone, you a snitch, you can go. And Simone really doesn't have a connection with anybody. And I feel like Alicia could pick up a vibe with somebody before Simone. But I feel like next week, Alicia going to do some stuff calling out Brian that's going to turn a lot of men off. And so I feel like it's going to be Alicia and the messy bitch number two go home. But we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, I talk too much about the show. Y'all know I love Ready to Love. I love love in general. I know it's a TV show for my entertainment, but I do be hoping these people find love for real and not just be on here fronting for TV. But anyway, like, comment, share. Let me know who your favorite couples are. Right now, my favorite couple is Brian and Alex. I think they are the most authentic. Let me know who y'all riding with in the comments. And I will see you all next week. Bye.